Alrighty, guys, gals, non-binary pals, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. As you can see, I'm wearing a hat, but don't worry, I still have these luscious locks. That is definitely not a mullet. I don't want to hear any mullet comments again, all right? Let's get into the video. Today we are going to be talking about someone that we've actually talked about a couple times on the channel, Stella. So if you are unfamiliar with Stella, she is a content creator, and we actually started talking about her a few years ago because she made a video talking about how she wanted to lose weight, but she was kind of scared. And the reason for that was because she was like a plus size, like body positive kind of content creator, and she was really worried about the response that she would have because of the fact that she wanted to lose weight. But the reason that she actually wanted to lose weight was because she was dealing with some health issues, and losing the weight was going to be something that would really hopefully help those issues.
What's always been best for me is just being authentically me. And right now I can't be authentically me. Right now I need to try something new. And I'm gonna try something new, but I just wanna say that a lot might change, and I'm gonna do my best to stay Stella.
Well, the thing is, that's sad to hear, because I mean, you can be authentically you and like change up your habits and change up what you're doing and change up some things about yourself. Like just because you are pursuing something different than maybe you were in the past, I don't think that completely changes who you are. So one of the big things that actually ended up happening was she developed blood clots from taking birth control, and she also was told by her doctor that she was at risk for a pulmonary embolism, and so she was like really afraid of that happening. And so that was one of the things that kind of spurred her in wanting to lose weight, as well as she's talked quite a bit about wanting to have a child, and that was something that was very dangerous apparently for her at her current size. So that was all going on in the first video, and the second video was actually really interesting because Stella actually decided to get weight loss surgery. And now obviously there were a lot of people that had quite a bit to say about that.
That's just really what's going on with me and my weight loss. It's happening. Last week I think the biggest thing happened, and that is I did get my referral for weight loss surgery. My doctor is recommending a sleeve, and we've kind of narrowed it down to VSG. I am considering it. I still have a lot of emotional issues of why I do not want to go through with it, but in reality I am in therapy working through that. Like, I've been a big girl.
I think, like, oh, dude, this is crazy. I've told this story before. When I was in 10th grade, I almost got a lap band, which is like it's not as intense as most of the weight loss surgeries because it's very non-invasive and you can remove it. But I almost got it. But I was kind of in the same place that it seems like she is right now, where I had conversations with the doctor, and they were asking me like, how like sure are you that you want to get this? And I was like, I'm like 80% sure that I want to do it. And they're like, that's perfect. Because like they didn't want people that were like 100% like, I need to do this. This is the only option I have. Because like most of the time it's not, right? Like you can lose weight, especially because I was so young. I was in 10th grade. But like they basically were saying like you should explore every option before you go down this road. And that's what I've said before with weight loss surgery, right? So I think that where her head is in a good place, where it's not like I need to get the surgery and that's the only way I can lose weight. It's instead like I want to try everything before I try having surgery. So she ended up getting VSG down in Mexico, and so we talked about that as well. And again, it's the thing that I really like about Stella is she seems to be very forthright and very just like, yo, this is why I'm doing this. It is what it is, right? And so I've always been quite honestly quite a big fan of her, and I really like the way that she kind of breaks things down. And so we're actually going to be talking about a video that she released recently. We're going to be going over the entire video, but I'm probably going to cut things out in editing because some of it's just really not worth like me putting in my video. It just doesn't really make sense. So if you want to watch the entire video, there will be a link in the description. So this is the video right here. The title of it is I Miss Fat Stella. So let's get into it.
I miss Fat Stella. Sigh. Shaking my head. Hey you guys, my name is Stella Williams, and today I am here with a different kind of video that I've been posting recently. I've been having a lot of fun on my channel. I've been back. I had weight loss surgery June 1st, 2021, and I got sick around August. Had to get a blood transfusion, had a lot of blood put in, and life kind of changed after that. I got uprooted from Los Angeles, decided to move across the country to the East Coast, and life's been a whirlwind. Well, January 2022, I guess.
One thing that I noticed just watching this video is that just the difference from the first video that we talked about versus where she is now. At least who knows how real it is. I mean, I choose to believe that she seems like a pretty real person, but it seems like she is just like glowing now compared to then. So, I mean, I think it's great wherever she is in life, like whatever's going on, it's clear that she is doing better. And I think it's awesome.
I was just comfortable in my new life and figured out enough to be comfortable enough to share the journey of me figuring out the rest. Life is good. I'm glowing, as a lot of people say. I'm really happy. And I was gonna let this comment go, but I feel like God's been talking to me lately. I haven't seen a lot of this, so I don't know why this stuck with me so badly. But someone commented on one of
It's interesting that she says that, because that's something that I think every content creator can relate to, is regardless of how much positive comments there will be, the negative one always does stick out. I don't know if it's because, like, if something, like back in the day when we were like caveman, if something negative was happening, like you had to address it or it would kill you. But it's just, no matter how many positive comments you receive, that negative one always sticks out, and it's frustrating, and it's honestly hard not to respond. The reason I try not to respond to them is because all it does is reinforce the people that are going to leave the negative comments. If you respond to the negative comment, they know they'll get a response. But if they leave a positive one, there probably won't be a response. But that being said, it's easier said than done. I'll tell you that much.
one of my Instagram pictures I posted for Valentine's Day, my throwback picture to my photo shoot at Fashion Nova last year. All my looks, I thought I looked bomb. So I posted them, and someone was like, I thought we weren't doing before and afters. That wasn't a before and after. I was simply just posting it. But
so this is another thing that you see a lot of, especially in like the body positivity community. It's very, like before and afters are very looked down upon. There are a lot of people that say before and afters, regardless of the intention, are fat phobic. Obviously, I disagree with that. I post a lot of before and afters. I think a lot of it is the intention. I think that you can post before and afters that are incredibly like just unnecessarily over the top and a little bit mean, like, oh, when I was fat, I was disgusting and I hated myself and blah, 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 blah. Right? Like, yeah, there are before and afters that can be problematic or an issue, but there are also before and afters that can be incredibly helpful, incredibly inspiring, and especially if someone has lost a significant amount of weight and they've put a lot of work into it, to say that they're not allowed to celebrate that it's just mind-blowing to me, right? So the fact that she has to not even a before and after, it's just a throwback photo that even if she posts this thing, there are some people that are going to leave comments. Like, again, obviously it's a small percentage, but still that's frustrating, right?
But secondly, the comment was, I miss fat Stella. And this bugged me because I don't feel I'm a different person. I think I've grown in growth that would have happened regardless of me being 345 pounds or me being 255 pounds.
This is so true right here. This is something that I get this comment all the time, people saying that I've changed regardless, or they'll even ask me, like, do you think you've changed? Like, do you think losing weight changed you, right? And so the only way I can answer that is, okay, when I was at my heaviest, I was 20 years old. I am currently almost 30 years old. That is 10 years of life. That's I've lived 30 years, 10 years. That's 1/3 of my life that I've had. Of course I have changed. Do I think that losing the weight is the thing that changed me? Not entirely. I think I've changed. Like, losing the weight definitely has made things different for me. Like, one of the biggest examples I have personally is that when I was in high school and when I was fat, I was the funny fat guy. So I would make jokes all the time about my weight and I would joke, like, on my old Instagram, almost all of my captions, I would hashtag something along the lines of like cutest person in the room, sexiest person in the room. The whole reason was because I was, like, in my head, clearly not that, and so it was funny. If I did that now, I would look like an incredibly huge douchebag. So I have changed because I've kind of had to, but at the same time, I've changed because I've had 10 years of life. Even if it's only been a year and you've lost weight, people change a lot in a year. If you've watched my videos for a year, you know that I've changed a lot in a year, and it has nothing to do with losing weight, right? But
they feel like I was different when I was fat, but I wasn't. And so today I really want to break the stigma that losing weight makes you a different person, makes you change as yourself. One thing I always said when I was 100 pounds bigger was, I still want to be me. I still want to keep myself in this journey of transformation. I've never been someone smaller. The last time I was 255 pounds, I was probably a freshman in high school. And to be frank with you guys, I wasn't weighing myself until senior year. I don't know. I've never been smaller. Even as a kid, I was always the big girl. I don't know. This life is new to me. But I genuinely, wholeheartedly believe that I haven't changed, or that this expectation that I'm going to change or, you know, become whatever is any different. I think this is a really beautiful time in my life. I think there is a lot of confidence I've built within my transformation. I used to be really insecure about feeling like I would change, feeling like I wouldn't be myself, which I've expressed in videos that I've shared with you guys about just this whole journey, from you guys finding out how sick I was, from me getting my blood clot, to me finding out about my autoimmune disorder, to me deciding I'm getting surgery. You guys saw everything. So to see comments that are like, oh, Stella's changed, or I miss fat Stella, to me insinuates that you think I'm different. And
I think that might be the case as well. I think a lot of it is just coming down from jealousy. I think a lot of people get very jealous when they see people changing. I get so many comments of people being like, my family isn't helpful, or they're actually being even more mean to me now that I'm losing weight, or this person isn't helping as much as I thought they would, or it seems like they're trying to sabotage me. I think a lot of times that comes down to jealousy. And I think, like, as far as Stella, from what I've seen in the video, she's always seemed very confident. But I do know there are a lot of people that they're not super confident when they are overweight, and then when they lose the weight, it seems like they become more confident. I would say that I'm someone that was kind of in that area. I don't think that just the fact that I'm smaller is why I'm confident, though. And I've talked about this before in videos. I think a big reason that I have more confidence is because I have been able to accomplish this big thing, right? Like, for me, losing the weight was my biggest goal that I had in life for many years. And so the fact that I was able to do that, I realized what I was capable of, and that gave me a lot of confidence. And then obviously being smaller, I'm sure that played a role in it, but it was not everything. And I think a lot of people see people that lose weight and they see that they are more confident, and all they see is, okay, they weren't confident bigger, they're confident now that they're smaller. It's all it is the size. It's not just the size. I think that plays a role in it, but I think for a lot of people that lose the weight and they seem more confident, it's because they have accomplished this huge monumental task that makes them more confident and makes them more sure of themselves. But that's just my opinion, of course.
It's sad. It's really sad. It's sad on multiple levels because, one, I respect wholeheartedly, and I've said this many times, if you feel you cannot relate to me anymore because I'm not 350 pounds, I get it. If you need to find creators that you relate to, then great. But I know majority of the people who are watching me today are here because of me, because of our community, because of our connection and what we've built together, and not because, oh, Stella, I like her because she's fat. And newsflash, to most of the world, 255 pounds is still fat, but regardless if I lose more weight and I'm not quote unquote fat anymore, I get it. Like, if you...
This is really interesting here for me. I say this is really interesting a lot. I see the comments. Leave me alone, you bullies, okay? But it's funny because this is something that I have dealt with, and a lot of other people have dealt with. You feel like you are stuck in a box. You feel like you have to do the thing that maybe garnered you popularity, right? So for people that are losing weight, you feel like you have to always talk about weight loss, and if you start talking about anything that's not weight loss, people are going to be upset with you and they are going to leave. And then it's like anything, right? Any sort of content creator or someone that garners a following, you feel like you are stuck in that box, and if you try and get out of that box, people are going to be upset with you. And so I think that it's awesome that she's kind of at a point where it's like, yo, if this is no longer for you, it's like, you don't have to watch the videos. I totally understand, because I've obviously, if you watch my last video, I've dealt with that before for many years now.
If you don't find yourself in me anymore, I get it. Cool. I no hard feelings. Go. I started the gym on Thanksgiving Day 2021. I had a free pass and I joined on Black Friday with a deal, and I was kind of like going. 3 weeks ago I decided to fast, but I don't fast with food anymore. I'm sure many of you guys remember when I did my water fast. Do not recommend it. Literally said that in the video. I do not recommend it. It changed the course of my life and my health. That's when you guys saw the start of a lot of my health problems, is because...
Yeah, man, fast... I'm not gonna sit here and say like if you ever fast it's terrible and you're gonna die or anything like that, but they can be very dangerous. Be careful, all right, y'all out here just watching videos and deciding you're gonna fast for a couple days. Just be careful, okay? That's all I'm gonna say.
Because of that water fast. Last night I had a moment where I ran my 5K in 46 minutes and 6 seconds. So it was a great accomplishment for myself because when I started my 5K, like my actual 5K 3.5 weeks ago, I was running it in 59 minutes and 59 seconds, so an hour. So to knock it down.
So this is one of, I really love that she brings this up because this is something that I talk a lot about when we talk about losing weight. So many people get caught up in the numbers, right? The numbers of yourself, your weight. But if you're able to instead focus on performance numbers or just performance in general, it doesn't even have to be numbers. It's so much, like it's a lot of fun. Like personally for me, I really like that because it allows you to push yourself and you're not tied to the scale or whatever. And so I think it's great that she brings this up.
Down to 46 minutes. I felt great. I was like, wow, like my endurance is faster. I'm moving faster. So I hop on my Instagram stories last night. I share this accomplishment and I've been posting every day I'm at the gym, but I don't really talk about it. I do on my vlog channel. That's where I talk about most of my weight loss stuff. I don't really talk about numbers. I just talk about daily things that are changing and habits and whatever. I had this moment in the gym where I was just reflecting and I thought about my stories last night and how I was like, wow, like I've really gotten almost 14 minutes faster from 3 weeks ago. Like it blew my mind. And so this morning I put my BMI in and it was like 39.8. And I was like, huh. So I start looking, I was like, okay, so what is the BMI for morbid obesity? And it was like 40. And I was like, this is the first time in my life I could ever recall not being considered morbidly obese. And it was just this reminder of like, it kind of felt like God gave me that to not feed into that bullshit of, oh, Stella's changing. Oh, like literally my goals are the same. The only success I used to feel like I was gonna have from this surgery was a baby, but through that may not even be now. It may not even be for 10 more years. I had to find.
So this is really cool because regardless of what you think about BMI and the whole scale and stuff, people are always like, it's broken, it's this, it's that. I personally, I think I still am technically obese on the BMI scale. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. But what I get out of this is using different ways to track progress, but to find joy in the process. Because I think a lot of people get really, really caught up in numbers, go down. You have to lose weight. You have to, you know, instead of just like finding other things to focus on. And yes, obviously BMI is a number, but it's a different number than the strictly the number on the scale. And so I think that this is a really cool way to see, like, you know, while some people really, really dislike BMI, and she talks about how she was one of those people, it right now it's something that has, you know, brought her peace and joy in that moment. And I think that's awesome.
New ways to like track my health, track myself, and just really see and appreciate changes even if there is no baby right now or in the near future or in the next 5 years. I'm like not even thinking babies right now. So it's interesting that I was just given that by God. He was like, look, you can go pay attention to that. You can go pay attention to the one person out of thousands of people who still like you for you, or you can listen to one person saying they miss the reflection that they saw in the mirror in me. The other half of that was like, wow, the first time in my life I'm not considered morbidly obese. Now I'm class 2 obesity, I'm still considered obese, but something that felt so intangible. You guys realize it took 100 pounds, let's do the math, like let's not lie. So 118.6 pounds from my highest weight put me to that next level of obesity class. And I just want to say that number because that's why I never thought about my BMI. It wasn't a scale that was meant for me. It wasn't something.
What I hear when I'm hearing this right now is this is something that so many people struggle with when they are starting out a weight loss journey. Is they think, I am 300, 400 pounds and I want to be 200 pounds. I want to be 180 pounds. And they think of that big number, right? 100, 200 pounds I have to lose. This is why I'm always like, just focus on day by day changes that you need to make, because that is much easier to focus on. And then once you do that for a while, you might have your own, oh crap moment like Stella had, where she's like, holy crap, I've lost 118 pounds or whatever, and now I am no longer, considered morbidly obese or class 3 obese or whatever the term was. Like, that's awesome, right? By just focusing on little things every day, making those little changes, you might have that moment that everything kind of clicks, and I think it's great.
I think with me in mind, it was like, oh, if you're over 300 pounds, we just give up on you. That's kind of what it felt like the medical chart was doing, and that's why I never paid attention to it. But I feel like this channel has grown to so much more than my size and my weight, and the content that I've made and I'm gonna start making now in the future again, it reaches people way beyond just the plus size community, and which is why I made the video to the plus size community a long time ago, which is why I started a new series and, just tried different things. And it really proved a point to me that people are here for fun, engaging, cool content, different, innovative, whatever.
This is it's so cool to listen to this, because again, in my last video, I was kind of talking about my own personal struggle or just my own personal experience with pretty much the same thing, right? Like, I made videos back in the day that were about me losing the weight. It was like vlogging and stuff like that. And now I don't do that. And I get comments of people that are upset, but I also have a lot of support. So it's weird. It's like this weird, mirror almost that I'm seeing here. So it's very interesting to me.
When I get stuck in these mindsets of, am I changing? Like, things that are not true to myself, I'm thankful that I'm in a spiritual place where I can say, oh, okay, I hear you, God. Like, let's go look at something. Let's go look at the bigger picture. I'm still losing weight. It definitely is work. If you're considering surgery or just had surgery, just know after like month 3, 4, it really is on you, boo. So you really have to learn how to adjust your brain. But I don't think it's me. I don't think it's my story. And I'm very, very happy for that. There's so many beautiful things to come this year. I feel good.
I really think that that's a very interesting kind of mindset to be in, especially so recently after, getting the surgery and still obviously losing the weight, because that's how I feel now, right? And I'm like, I lost the weight almost 10 years ago now. It's like, for me, losing weight isn't my personality. It's not my identity. And it's pretty interesting that she's been able to find that place so quickly, that's not a place that people find. And I don't even think that I would even say like you have to be there so soon, or why you are still losing the weight, because like she said, losing weight is freaking hard. And so it does take a lot of dedication and effort and focus, right? And so if you feel like, well, I kind of feel like losing the weight is it's like my whole thing right now. It's who I feel like I am. I would say that's very normal if you are in the middle of losing it. But what I will say is that eventually, once you lose the weight and you have kept it off for a while, at least for me, it naturally kind of shifted to where that's no longer my thing. And I think it's important to get to that point, because that's where you want to stay, right? Like, you don't want to continuously be the person that is either losing weight or lost weight. Like, I don't see myself as a guy that lost weight. That's not what I think. I just think I'm a guy with not a mullet. All right.
A lot of comments I've gotten just since moving to the East Coast is that I'm glowing. And I really do appreciate that, because it's how I feel. And I love to just know that that's coming off of me genuinely, without me forcing it or saying it or trying to show you guys how much I'm glowing and different, whatever. I feel like I'm the same person I was 100 pounds ago. I may have matured a little bit, but I'm still Stella. And I'm having a good time. I'm living life. I'm having fun. Texting as hell, texting as ever.
That's the video right there. I think there are always going to be people that have something to say when you are on a weight loss journey, especially if you are someone that is in Stella's position, which obviously there's not many people, but it's so interesting to me. Someone that, when she talked about wanting to lose weight, a lot of her followers were almost like upset, which is very, very interesting. But at the end of the day, like, I wish her the best. I think that it's incredibly interesting. And like she said, I do think that she is glowing. It seems like she is in a much better place now than she was in the first video that we talked about. And I think that this is something that I know a lot of people, myself included, and people that follow me have dealt with, people saying, I miss the old you, or you used to be different, or whatever it might be. I think with those things, if you feel like maybe you have changed for a negative, maybe do a little bit of self-reflecting. But I think for most people, you just have to realize that when you are the fat person in a relationship and people are close to you, a lot of times when you start losing weight, they start to think of, things that maybe they should be doing that they're not, and they almost get jealous. And I think that happens so often. I know it does because I get those comments all the time. And so that's all I have to say. I just thought it was a very interesting video. Again, if you want to watch the whole thing, definitely click the link in the description. Thank you, Stella, so much for the awesome video, and thank you so much for watching.